country. You're so likable.
Well, it's because I was raised right.
Are we on?
I'd probably be a better artist if I wasn't. If I had some screwed up family.
We are on? Hey, everybody, I'm Shane. I'm here with Jesse Dayton. Hi, Jesse.
Hey, man, how are you?
I bet you didn't know you were going to have to do this today. Or have to.
I didn't.
You were kind enough to actually do it.
I've, as you know, I host a radio show, so
I listened
that's
to
what
it.
I did during. That's what I did during COVID. Was I did this radio show every week, and it
Give
got
Me Country.
Yeah, Give Me Country, and it got picked up by iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm. I want to buy stock in that because I listen to the other side a lot.
Give Me Metal.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I love
sure.
it. I tell everybody about it.
Man, it's huge.
I like it. So I usually start these off by talking about the history of us and you've been playing here
Forever.
90s.
Yeah, since back in the 1900s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I started in 97. You know what? Want to hear a funny story? I thought about this today. When I first started working here, it was like 98, and we used to make $80 and then go to Lizard's Pub over there and spend about 120.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the bar one night, and this guy kept sending me shots. I'm like, I'm a liberal dude. I should just be flattered about this. So I'm like, he comes over to me, and I'm kind of, oh, God, where's this going? He goes, man, I love your stuff. And I'm like, this guy obviously thinks I'm somebody else. And he goes, you're Jesse Dayton, right? I was like, I don't know who Jesse Dayton is, but he must be handsome.
Did you have a black pompadour?
No, I had black hair, though. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
I did have black hair.
We're not that far off, brother.
Well, I'm going to get in these hard-hitting questions
Let's do it.
for this. What was the first record you purchased with your own money?
First record I purchased with my own money, I went out and mowed my parents' lawn, and then this really old cranky you-know-what woman who lived down the street who kind of pseudo-ripped me off.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Even though I did a great job, I didn't leave any of the grass in the middle. You know, some people do crappy jobs because they're in a hurry.
Yep.
I was real thorough because I got the, hard-charging dad, so there was no mistakes. And then I went and mowed these other people's lawn, and I made $7.
Okay.
And I went to Sears on College Street in Beaumont, Texas, and I bought Fandango by ZZ Top.
That's a nice one. We've had some pretty bad ones.
And it changed my life. Yeah. And I'm still, to this day, if I'm around Billy Gibbons, I get nervous.
Well, he's around town. I see him every once in a while.
I see him.
I know you see him.
I'm going to go see him in September. And
everybody.
I know him, and I'm still nervous around him.
You should be.
Yeah.
I'm nervous around you.
Don't be
That's
nervous.
where I get. That's where I am. What kind of level I am.
That's okay.
So what was your first concert?
First concert was George Jones, and he didn't show up.
I remember you tell that story. What was the first one you wanted to go to? Didn't your dad take you to that one?
Yeah.
What was the
first one that I wanted to go to?
Like, I'm championing this person.
Well, I mean, I didn't really know because I was a young kid, and my brother and sister would bring me to shows.
Right.
My brother brought me to Highway to Hell tour.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to see Bond.
Nice.
6 months before he died. They played at Beaumont Convention Center. Google it. Check it out.
AC/DC stopped in Beaumont.
Yeah. I saw, just everybody. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, when you live in a B market.
Right.
It's not there was some small town, but it wasn't a hip town.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do. So I couldn't go see the Ramones.
Yeah.
I couldn't go see some hipster punk rock band or cool band like us. We would go see whoever came.
The Pistols didn't play Beaumont?
No, but the Ramones did.
Yeah.
And Jason and the Scorchers opened up for them. Yeah, Lamar, because we had Lamar University.
Yeah, of course.
But I saw, just all the typical. But I saw, we also had the Southeast Texas State Fair. So every year it was like I saw Haggard. I saw every major, and we had a big ass country club called the Palace, and I went and saw Johnny Paycheck, David Allen Coe, and Bo Cephas for $12.
What was that like?
It was redneck crazy, right?
I couldn't even imagine.
And I go there, and I knew all the songs because I grew up, family, country music, and all that stuff. And then a little bit later, we went and saw Frampton.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, damn, rock and roll is a lot bigger than country music is.
Well, Garth Brooks just played.
Yeah, but we didn't have Garth Brooks then.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
That really didn't happen until Willie and Waylon started playing with the Almonds,
Right.
and crossing over. Country wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't that huge anyway.
So who was the first artist you put on a pedestal? Our band. Posters on the wall. That kind of stuff.
Probably ZZ Top,
Okay.
because I knew that they were local, and I was like, oh well, they can do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. So,
And my brother used to go see him at the Lighthouse before they got signed, and Al Caldwell lived around the corner from us, and he was the first guy that played their music on the radio. And listen, I know success has 1,000 fathers and Fayer's an orphan, but this is really the truth. Like they had Billy's told me too. They had this big thing in Beaumont.
ZZ Top did? Or
ZZ
just-
Top did,
Okay.
yeah. So you know,
So you're saying Beaumont put him on the map?
Fandang,
basically.
it really did.
Yeah.
Chess Hombres, all those records were just like, you know, later, you know, Robert Earl Keen's first 3 or 4 records will become the soundtrack for those people's lives. But, you know.
So did you have an aha moment in your life where it was like you saw something, you heard a lyric, saw a show, you know, read something that made you want to do this for the rest of your life, or was it just
Yeah,
around?
my brother took me to see Buddy Guy.
Okay.
Because my brother had gone off to Austin and became friends with Clifford Antone, whose family was from Port Arthur,
Okay.
and my family's from Beaumont, and our families knew each other.
All right.
So my brother was going hanging out at Antone's in Austin, and he turned his back on every white rock and roll band after that. I mean,
Really?
except for the Stones and
Right.
ZZ Top and a few people, but he became a blues freak. And then I went and saw Buddy Guy, and I was like, oh my God, like goosebumps,
Nice. Okay.
like guitar playing.
I would have never thought that. I hear you tell a story about seeing the Clash. I thought that was going
Saw
to
the
be.
Clash. That changed my life, definitely.
Yeah.
Seeing Towns changed my life.
Towns played here once, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the big question tonight is, what are you I used to say quarantine watching. You got any Netflix shows for us? Any Hulus?
I mean, what are my favorites?
What are you watching now? You got anything new? I just finished.
I've been watching these untold sports stories.
I watched the Nolan Ryan documentary.
A what?
That Nolan Ryan documentary.
I haven't
that just
seen it
came
yet.
out.
I need to see it, though.
Pretty good. It's on Prime.
I'm a huge Peaky Blinders fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love that show.
But, yeah, I mean, I'd watch shit on my phone all the time when I'm on tour.
Yeah.
Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
I
can do
watch
anything.
shit on tour.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Nobody
Sorry,
watches
Pops.
this. Yeah, nobody cares.
But, yeah, I've been watching these untold sports documentaries. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the one where like there's always a little bit there's issues or problems.
Yeah, there's crazy
I think
stuff
I
that goes
watched-
on,
I think I saw that.
and it's crazy, but they overcome it, and you know, it's inspirational, and you know, that kind of stuff.
Did you watch the stuff on ESPN? The one about the whole big what was the Southwest
Malice in the
Conference?
Palace?
No, the Southwest Conference. I saw that one too. But
Oh
the-
yeah, when they're on the tape.
yeah, the SMU one.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That was so good.
It was like, why did you do that for such short money? Yeah, I would have lent you
They
the
were
money
trying
to
to
get to get a freaking Nissan.
Well, they were giving out Trans Ams. Remember how
Yeah.
hot those were?
Oh.
The hot sticker on the back of it. All right, in this, I got some either ors. I'm going to give you 2 names. You tell me which one you prefer. Just because you say you like one doesn't mean you hate the other one. Jim Lauderdale didn't answer any of them, but he probably knows half the people. But the first one's universal: Beatles or Stones.
Stones, absolutely.
All right.
But I'm a huge Beatles fan, and I actually think the Beatles made better sounding singles for the radio. I'll nerd out on this till like I'm serious, dude.
Well, we have a
Like,
show at 9:30.
It'd be
but
like
let's go.
4:00 in the morning. You'd be like, that dude's still. But the Rolling Stones are my favorite rock and roll band
Okay.
all time. I saw them the last time that Charlie played in Texas, and I could have called. I have friends that are on the crew. I've met the band before. I met everybody in the band except for Daryl was playing bass, so I didn't
Okay.
meet Bill.
Right.
But I met Mick and Keith and Charlie and Ronnie when I was recording with Waylon in LA.
Nice?
Super nice, real cool. Came by, listened to our stuff, hung out. But I thought I was going to be on tour when they played Houston the last time.
Yeah.
And I was in Austin. I said, man, I'm going to buy some general admission tickets for overpriced.
Right.
And I'm going to jump in my car and just drive to Houston because there's no way that Charlie Watts is going to be able to play drums in his 80s.
Yeah.
It's still a physical thing.
You didn't call us. They were actually supposed to come here after the show, and they had a guy scout the place out, said, we can't tell you who's coming. Or they were in town. They were supposed to come here, and they never came. The guy later told us, well, it was going to be the Stones.
Oh,
But
man.
they didn't come. If we'd have told them we knew you, maybe I would have helped.
I'm a huge freak. I love all the Stones records that nobody cares about. Like, I like Disco Stones.
Yeah.
I like 80s Stones. You know, everybody talks about, like, all the cool stuff. But McGonigel on Main Street.
Yeah.
Black and Blue.
You like all the
and
deep
that.
cuts.
I'm a freak. I love them.
So the next one's Dolly or Aretha.
Damn, that's hard.
So everybody tells me about that one. They're not supposed to be easy.
Dolly's a better songwriter.
Yeah.
Probably. But Aretha? Man, I'm going to go with Dolly Parton because she wrote
Of course.
most of those songs.
And she's probably the most amazing human being that's lived.
Yeah,
one
I
of
mean,
them.
and I love Aretha, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. But Carole King wrote most of her stuff, and you know, I like singers, but
Right.
songwriters are
Good for you.
they get a special set of wings to get into heaven.
All right, next one's Johnny or Willie.
It's always Willie.
Okay. You're a Texas kid.
Like people ask me, "What's your favorite Texas songwriter?" And I always say Billy Joe Shaver, and they're always either shocked that I don't say Towns or Guy,
Right.
or they're shocked that I don't say Willie.
Willie.
And I go, Willie Nelson's a unicorn. He's not a Texas. He's bigger than Texas, and he's
Right.
bigger than country music. He's a
Yeah,
whole
he
other
is.
universe.
You know, I had this, to kind of get off topic just a little bit, I had this conversations like, who was the last like person that died that the world kind of stopped? Was it Michael Jackson or something? Who would be Willie to me would be the next person that the world would.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Watts was a big one for
Yeah,
me.
it was big. I mean, like the whole, like a lot of people don't know who the drummer of Rolling Stone. I mean,
But the people
Mick.
who don't know the drummer for the Rolling Stones don't matter.
That's a
If
good
you don't
answer.
know the drummer for the Rolling Stones, and you're like you don't belong, you're not. This is an A/B conversation. Get out.
That's
Because Charlie Watts was cool, man.
He was.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where's your guitar?
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, I agree with you. I'm just.
I mean, he didn't just play the drums; he wrote hooks that stuck in your head.
Right.
But that was upsetting to me. David Bowie was upsetting.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that might
I didn't
be
realize I liked him as much. I didn't, and it's interesting when
Well, the hipsters have claimed him.
when people die. Like a friend of mine back in my hometown was like, "Man, I don't know why these people get so butthurt when these people die. They weren't their friends. They didn't even know them."
Right.
And I'm like, so you're completely devoid of having any emotional connection to art. That's what you're saying?
We probably didn't know who the drummer of Rolling Stones was.
Yeah, but it was Steve Jordan, and he's been playing with Keith for 30 years.
Yeah. No, I
But
agree
you know what
with
I'm
you.
saying? Like,
Absolutely.
just like when Prince died or when Tom Petty died, it was shocking.
I think Prince was the last one for me.
David Bowie shocked me because
But he'd been kind of sick and kind of fell off, so that
Yeah,
wasn't much
but-
of a surprise.
he'd kept it a secret.
He did, yeah.
And-
And, he just
and-
put out that record. It was great.
And I never knew a time in my life when I couldn't turn on rock radio and he wasn't on it.
Right.
I remember before Prince hit.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
With Bowie, it was kind of like,
Always.
that's close to the Beatles or the Stones, kind of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely. So the next one is Prince or Michael Jackson.
Well, definitely Prince.
Okay, fine. Sinatra.
But I'll tell you, this is the thing about Michael Jackson. This
Yeah.
is my philosophy on Michael Jackson.
All right. Quincy Jones.
No.
Okay.
His father was an asshole.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let him be gay. And if he
Well.
would have just let Michael Jackson be a gay dude, then he wouldn't have, because he got depressed. He did what Elvis did. He turned to prescription drugs, which is what Prince did, which is what Tom Petty did. All these people like, fentanyl and this drugs.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and but Michael Jackson, I mean, my God, what a crazy talent.
I ran into him in Vegas, and it was the most bizarre.
You ran into Michael Jackson?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Was he living in that hotel then?
I think so. We were there, and it was
kids,
it was just weird. People just crushed him like I've never seen. I got all freaked out and dropped my slushie because I was like, "That's Michael Jackson." And I flipped out. I'm not a flip out person.
One of the biggest stars ever in the planet.
It was insane, and I was like, okay. At that point, I understood why he was the way he was, but I don't know.
I think it's because he was repressed. And he became a drug addict. I mean, when you gotta get into a chamber to go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, he was just
it's like terrible. It's the same thing with the King. I mean, he couldn't get out of his deal with the
right.
The word was Streisand came to his hotel room in Vegas and said, "We want you to be in A Star Is Born."
Really,
and he would have been great.
Yeah,
in that.
Absolutely.
But Chris was great in it, but. Then his manager was like, "No, we can't." So people get depressed, but I'm a Prince fan. I love Prince.
He's amazing. I mean, yeah, I am too. I
saw him open up for the Stones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was a kid, no one got it. It was terrible.
You did?
I got it.
It's all right.
But I was like, I went to school with a bunch of black kids, and I was into Soul Train.
Right.
I got it. You know what I mean? But that was the time when that narrative was being pushed. Disco sucked, which was really like some racist kind of shit if you think about it.
But everybody was making this. Kiss was making disco records.
Everybody,
Rod Stewart,
Stones, everybody was making disco music, and some of those disco records sound amazing.
They do. I agree with you.
I mean, you got to be like dead and have no pulse to not dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire, man.
That's a big quote on the back of their T-shirt.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more for you, and I'm tailoring this one to you. It's not normally one I ask. X or The Clash?
The Clash, and even though I played in X, and I love X.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that you said you had to go look up Sandinista when that. That's my favorite System. Clash record.
Yeah. I mean, I saw The Clash. That's the first time I saw Joe Ely. He was opening for The Clash.
Oh, yeah. I have a record where he was opening for them in London.
He sang on Should I Stay or Should I Go?
He did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's doing all that Mexican shit in the background. All that.
I didn't know that.
That's some Joe Ely in the back.
I'll have to go back and listen to that tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until he told me. I was like, oh, my God. And then Sharon told me. And this was quite a few years ago. And I was kind of, because I wanted to know,
Yeah.
But I love Joe Strummer. And
all those guys.
Yeah. I mean,
they tried.
They might have not been the best band, but they were the coolest.
But they tried so many different things. I just didn't care. It's like, we're going to put out this 10-minute reggae song and put out a quadruple record.
Playing with X was definitely a career highlight.
Yeah.
But The Clash was, it was like a iconic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was trying to put you on the spot.
Oh, thanks, man.
I don't think John's going to see it or Exene, but,
Well, John and Exene weren't too happy when we were on tour and they said, how's it feel to play with your favorite Southern California band? I said, I'm not playing in the Blasters. Because I love the Blasters are like.
Yeah.
I love.
Did you really say that?
I did, but I was kidding, but I wasn't. I love Dave Alvin. So.
We do too. I wish you'd come back. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for sitting down with me.
What a fun time.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope my answers weren't too controversial.
No, they're the one about Michael Jackson maybe, but we'll
You'll edit it out.
He's started a little controversy himself, so I think we're probably pretty good.
Good.
Thank you.
Do most people clam up when you do this?
No,
okay.
they don't. not as loquacious as
Okay.
some, but you know,
Not as forthcoming.
some of them are kind of mean to me.
Are they really?
Yeah, some of them aren't fun.
Yeah. Boo.
You're-
Bummer.
You were great.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's all that matters. Thanks, brother.